All your S keys. Thank you.
Oh God! You should do it while we're while we're commentating or something. Just do more of an action shot. I'll do that as well. Yes, oh, we're Oceania. They're back at the quarantine. Yeah. The house down there. They're up there. No, they're in the car park. Yeah, yeah, nice. Working?
We are getting the radio punches through.
And the two screens show the same thing, do they?
Yeah, someone must have reconfigured this. It wasn't me. That's fine.
Finish up. Are they ready? First finish up?
Yep. All good.
You need a pen?
No, I'll be right.
And
You can.
you have that.
Pen.
Yeah, you have one from somewhere. You don't really need it there for mine. Okay.
So I'll let you come down
Thank
there.
you.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Go yourself. Oh, I gotta say yourself. It's not great. Oh,
Makes it really hard to see
annoying.
uphill. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, hello. Hello. Hello, Alia. Hello. Oh, hello, Alia. How are you?
Is that all good?
So Hobson started. He went early.
Yeah, because he's a helper.
Yeah, yeah. So how does this
Yeah,
actually?
great. Thanks.
I don't know.
How does this actually work?
No, we're getting all the radios. They're just not coming through in the announcer module. So
Okay, as I promised earlier, Dave Meyer, the course setter of the Oceania Champs here today. This event is also the University Orienteering Championships, Sprint Championships. So, Dave, what can we expect from your course setting today?
I guess
Yeah,
people
so they're going to
around
come
my
from
course
this
will
way,
probably say
and they're
there's
going to
a
go
lot
through.
happening. That's
into
probably
that.
one of the main
Okay,
things.
and
I
they
like
can't
to
come
keep
through.
people on
No,
their
they
toes.
can't come
and
through
always
because this is
thinking,
olive green.
always
So
making decisions.
they'll have to go around. So that'll be your main
parts of the
shot
camps
into
probably
there.
aren't too
But if we
technical
call
or too intricate,
from
so
spectator,
it's a case
it will
of
be
just keeping
looking
people,
for one of these.
making sure they're
one
reading
of these
that.
holes.
Quite a few controls out there.
And I
that
can
make sense?
just go and
some of
film
those
any
lucky
random
longer
runner.
courses get to
Yeah,
experience
so
the
once the
beautiful
leads
planet
start,
up on the hill.
we're going to be going for the top guys. So
Yeah,
once we get a rhythm,
remember when I
it'll
first
be-
Now
saw
I
your
can just,
courses
like,
and we had
point
lines
at
and
her.
numbers
Yeah, follow her
everywhere, and
along.
I'm thinking, oh, how are we going to do this? But we decided in the end that we wouldn't go with a map flip. So you're right, you've got a lot of intensity in your courses, so people need to be prepared for that. It really is a mental challenge out there today, as well as obviously a speed challenge for those at the higher end of their age classes. So course setting, what can we look forward to on the hill over here, Dave?
Well, hopefully some big decisions to make for the longer courses, especially the elites and the junior seniors. I guess I can say there's some longer legs that should have some big decisions to be made. But given some of the rock up there is quite intricate, it's more of a case of trying to keep the speed high, and there isn't too much, there isn't too much stuff up there that should slow people down. They should be able to run fast. There's a lot of rock to read, but the control site should be easy enough they can keep that sprint speed up and just chug along.
And speaking of the hill, I can see a competitor going straight up the hill from the arena. Very interesting.
That's their route choice.
Yes. So we've got some video up on the big screen over here of the starters. That image you're looking at there is people who have just picked up their maps, and we can see that there's not that much movement happening very quickly.
Nick, you'll see we got Andy Hogg who's coming through the run through. Probably going to set the fastest time so far in men's 40. He is the first starter, so you'd hope that will be the sake. You can see that run through. The first run through comes through from the left behind the screen in the arena, and Hoggs has come off the hill onto that same run through control and gone to the right of the arena if you're looking up the hill.
You may have given him Andy Hogg a few years there. We think he might be 45, but we'll wait and see. Unfortunately, we haven't got any split times coming up. We do have radio controls at the run through for the longer courses, and we do have radio controls, of course, out near the finish.
So that's just something for the people in the arena to be aware of, especially those sitting on the hillside of the run through. There's that run through coming through the arena there, and there's a little gate you can walk through, the break in the tapes. So please be aware when you're crossing that run through there that people will be coming through at speed. So make sure you look to your left or your right, and that way we can avoid collisions.
Amongst all the competitions, we've also got, of course, the Australian New Zealand Challenge. There's a New Zealand contingent of Orienteers over here representing their country in the Oceania Championships. I'm assuming that they will be wearing the all-black orienteering top of New Zealand. And if you see the yellow tops like we can see through the run-through at the moment, there's one of the 16s, I think, representing Australia. Unfortunately, we don't have any printouts at the moment or radio controls, so we're going to have to go on eyesight and memory, but mine's not that good. But that particular 16-year-old is going around the road rather than going over the hill.
The other way.
As I was saying, there are teams of 3 representing Australia and teams of 3 representing New Zealand. So if you see someone wearing an Australian O-top, yellow, it's a fair chance that they are representing Australia today in the challenge. We also have the University Sprint Championships today. So any elites who are running today can represent their university, and they can be in the mix for winning the Australian University Sprint Championships. We've just had a finisher there, it looks like in the women's 10. It's good to see the finishers coming up the finish chute. And we do have Andy Hogg in the finish. We're not getting any printouts at the moment, readouts of times. So we've got no idea what he's done. The video up here, and again we can see some interesting scenes at the start, people standing around. My guess is they're trying to work out the route choice to the first leg. Well done, Dave. Gone.
That's exactly what we want to see. People picking up their maps and getting confused, not knowing the best way to go straight away. Every second counts.
Let's hope they weren't confused before they picked their map up. A bit more decisive decisions there from that group of starters. There's about 14 people starting at the moment every minute. We've got well over 100 people out there in the terrain running around at the moment looking for the controls.
And I'll just do a bit of arena admin while we're at it, Nicholas. So obviously people would have seen the catering, which is on the southern side of the building that you walked in past. So that's the local uni catering, so please get out and support those guys. They do some great stuff. There are the loos also on the way in. There were some portaloos there, but there are also portaloos up above where the results are. So you can see the results screen on the southern side of the arena. There's some stairs going up to the second level. There's actually some of the university toilets there that we can access. And if you're after water, we don't have water at the finish because we're all self-sufficient. So you can take your bottle. There's a tap up next to the podium, up near the screen. Where the 1, 2, 3 is just to the right of that. There's a tap on the wall, and there's also a tap over near where the catering is on the back side of that building. So we don't have any water at the finish. Grab your reusable container and grab your own water.
I believe you were all given a water bottle at the registration, either this morning or last night. So you might want to use that if you didn't bring your own water bottle, but we are trying to limit the demands on the organisation and also the wastage on plastic cups. Actually sitting here, Dave, up on the balcony, looking down over this arena. There was a lot of conversations amongst the organisation as to whether this arena was going to be big enough for a sprint. but it looks to me like it's certainly big enough. And also sitting here on the veranda, I can see some kangaroos. They've just gone past to control under a tree up there on the hill that we can see, and I can also see 2 runners approaching the control in different directions. We're hoping to have some radio control times very soon.
Yes, I can see the raining.
We do have some very good video coming through of runners out there in the terrain. We've got about 4 or 5 video cameras out there, and we can see someone representing Australia running to what it looks like to be a staircase maybe, and we've got people in the background. So there's people going in all directions out there. Some very good video work being done by Living It Live here today, and that is a New Zealand representative. My guess would be a women's 16 New Zealand representative.
James, your camera 5. Camera 5.
So in the women's 16, we've got Justine Hobson, Zali McComb and Anna Penk representing Australia in the ANZ Challenge. In the New Zealand team, we've got Emily Hayes, we've got Zara Stewart, and I think subject to fitness Anna Dustin is written down on my sheet. But we have a stream of people finishing here. But again, sorry, we do not have any information on the screen.
Nick, I just took a bit of a walk down through the campus and very quickly, and it was good to see the flurry of people in amongst the buildings. One of the major things is sprint orienteering. When you're having to make those decisions, sometimes you lose more time making a decision rather than just choosing your route and going for it. And in a campus like this, that is something that will happen very frequently, where you spend time, should I go left, should I go right, what should I do? You stand there hesitating. Whereas if you just had a crack and made your choice quickly, you're probably going to save more time no matter which way you go.
A very fast men's 16 representing Australia running through the spectator control.
If you can see the screen, there are some results coming up on the screen. The guys at Living It Live have got some results working on the video screen there. So if you cast your eyes up there, you might have better eyes than us. Will be much closer than we are sitting to get some of the latest updates on the screen. Unfortunately, we're just working on getting them through to our computers for the commentary team here.
Little lost. There are results up on the screen over there, and we assume that they're also on the screens in the results over on the veranda. But we can't help you with that because we're not getting anything yet.
There's people everywhere. I just walk down. They all come down the stairs. If you cast your eyes to the screen, you can see they also have roving cameras out in the forest. So Living It Live have a couple of runners with cameras, and they'll be chasing orienteers in and around the campus, getting some sweet action shots as they go. And as we can see, more runners coming down from the start, coming down the stairs, and they're doing exactly what I was talking about before, probably spending more time making a decision than they'd lose if they went either direction. So keeping moving is the key to the game. We just have a Tigers fan cross the finish line. So obviously he'll be finishing his run and getting off to find a TV this afternoon to watch the Tigers lose to the GWS Giants, unfortunately for him.
Okay, we've got a request to make that in the bulletin there was a mention of a thing called fair play. Fair play places a lot of emphasis on the competitor doing the right thing. Those who have finished, you are obviously aware that you are not having your map collected. So fair play means that you do not show your map to anyone who has not run. We are not going to supervise that, but we are going to ask you to follow fair play. You can look at your map, you can talk to it with someone who has not finished, but do not share it with someone who has not yet competed. That is not fair play. End of question. End of statement.
We can have a look at some of the results so far.
This is the men's 16. That's the finish time.
Oh, it's on there. Wouldn't it, like
151.
The 151, so you deselect the others.
yeah.
So now there'll only be one selected. So
Yeah.
151. Yeah, this is just now 151.
Oh, so we can't have multiple.
We can open multiple windows if you like, and you can do it again.
Can you shrink that one?
Yep. Like that. And then over here we
I
can
don't know what else.
do another one.
134 is one off the hill, I think. Is that right?
So do 134. And when the elites run, you can only select the elite classes,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
won't get noise of others. 131.
What about the second last one?
134.
What's the second last? I don't know what radio, which ones he's got radio controls. The second last one is 114. 114. Oh, is this me?
This is it. Yeah. That's what enables us to do a TV overlay button as well. That should mean no one's really touching this control. This is 134.
And then to change it, go to settings.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yep.
And then deselect and then go. So what's the difference between?
I don't get what's happening.
So the top one's the most.
The most recent thing.
Yeah. And that's. So they finished fourth, and they're behind the leader, and they're behind. What's that next line? 26 100 group. What is that?
That's the person that they
Immediately in front of them.
But is that at radio control?
Yeah, that's the 114. Isn't it?
Can you shrink that and move it over? And then shrink this one and move it over?
John Shelton Agar, if you're still doing first aid, can you come up to the announcers table? John, if you're still doing first aid, can you come up to the announcers table, please? Oh.
Well, they must all be in the right place, Dave.
Haven't done anyone yet screaming yet. Get away for the least to finish, then we'll get the real complaints.
No, everyone's fine. There's no problems with the horses.
Yeah.
Everyone's punching through to SI car changes because I'm listening to it going down.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So what's happening here is
I can understand what's happening, but I don't know which control it is.
okay. So this one, yeah.
If you,
I can see what you mean.
if you
About
set them up in order,
yes. Yeah, we can do that. So these screens are going to show you the radio. They're also showing you everyone who crosses the finish. So you're going to get duplicates between both of them. Because it always shows
so
you.
where it says finishes third, is that finish total?
That's finish total. So it shows you the radio that you've selected. So in this
Plus
case,
the finish.
Plus the finish.
But
And I don't think I can stop it, unfortunately, from doing that.
if you just let me have a look at the screen for 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
So, but that's just one radio control, and we don't know which one it is.
Plus all the finishes.
This is 151.
I can't handle the change in screen, sorry.
Press OK, and then let him read it as well.
Just let me have a look and see what's happening. But Debbie Davey just finished. No, she's at Radio 1.
So 151.
So it's going down, is it?
Yeah. And then Dad just finished.
So that's the radio control,
correct.
and that's the finish. So why is that a different colour?
Because that's showing you important events. It's highlighting events that it considers to be important. Such as that one finishes third.
Right.
And the green finishing, and this one finishing.
So can you have two of these?
Must be a good book. Must be. Yeah, well, Dad, if I had a good book, I'd be right.
Yeah.
Why don't we just concentrate on the building on the first one, and then for the next one? Can we have two? Will we be able to have one screen for the men's elite and one for the women?
Yes.
Right.
And we can select them as in.
So just leave me with that screen for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I need to get used to what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And
What's that one?
That's just another radio.
Excuse me, Nick. I might just seek a clarification on that down there. So they can't run over the tape or through the sliding door, but the corridor between the sliding door and the other door is an acceptable route?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Canopy.
I haven't seen the map. so.
Yes.
Just
Yep, for sure.
Right.
tape.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's just the passage.
There are one or two non-elites stepping over tape and
Yeah.
things like that. One of them was had a wobbly top on.
Oh gosh. So this is. What's this one? Where have you got up?
So this is just your 151.
That's that bridge over there. Well, it's not just that one because it's a finish as well, is it?
And it's the finish, yes.
There's so much stuff.
It's just jumping too much for me.
It doesn't tell you actually where anything.
No.
What it is.
So it's because it's the volume of people.
Can I just ask? It says 40 seconds behind. It's 5 seconds behind Lance Reed. What's
So
that?
that's behind the leader, and that's 5 seconds behind the next person in front of them. So if Lance was second,
Oh, jeez. It's too much information.
Well, it is because there's just so many competitors punching those radios.